leadership and yield to him.
Well, thank you. Let me just echo what Kathy Castor said about you and your effectiveness, Madam Speaker. You definitely are the most effective speaker we've ever had, in my opinion. And let me also thank Kathy and the members of the special committee for all that you've done over the last few years to initiate so much of the climate action plan that we're so proud of. I just wanted to say, I was at previous conferences when Trump was president, and he was trying to take us out of the Paris Agreement. And I was so proud to see that Nancy Pelosi led a delegation to make the point to everyone that the United States was still very much in this. And today it's very easy to make that point because of the Inflation Reduction Act, because of the infrastructure bill, and so many things that have already been mentioned. But the main thing I just wanted to say is that we're here to demonstrate that the United States continues its commitment with our global partners in the fight against climate change. And we're here to reaffirm our determination to accelerate our transition to a stronger, more equitable, and sustainable future. And in terms of the Inflation Reduction Act, I just wanted to make it clear that this bill was the single largest investment in climate action in American history. It drove cuts in methane pollution, established a national greenhouse gas reduction fund, and supported the deployment of clean energy technologies across every sector of the economy. These are, of course, the things that came out of the Energy and Commerce Committee. But in conjunction with the bipartisan infrastructure law and the other things that have been mentioned, it's really put us on track to meet the climate targets set forth in the Paris Agreement. I just wanted to mention today, just as an example, the President has already talked about or put out a statement this morning, I think he's going to talk more about it this afternoon, about methane pollution. And basically, I think most of you know methane is one of the most dangerous of a potent greenhouse gas. And what he's basically talking about today, and he already put out the summary of it, is that the Inflation Reduction Act created all these new tools to fight methane and other pollutants. And so, as an authorizing committee, what was in the Inflation Reduction Act was primarily tools to fight pollution. And the methane and what he's putting forth today is a real perfect example of that. But lastly, I want to say that we still have to do more to achieve a clean, sustainable future. And we're going to continue the fight. And regardless of what happens in the consequences of the last election, I just want our global partners to know that Democrats are prepared to fight any Republican attempts to undermine these gains. Republicans have made it clear that they're going to push an extreme agenda that favors fossil fuel and corporate special interests over the interests of the American people and our allies. And Democrats are here to make it clear that we're going to aggressively oppose any proposal that would gut or weaken our hard-won climate achievements, because they were hard-won. And just solving this global problem requires global cooperation. We're not going to falter in our commitment or in our determination to tackle the climate crisis head-on, as we've done in the last Congress. And thank you again, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pallone. Thank you. Mr. Pallone's statement demonstrates the specificity and the knowledge that was brought to bear in writing this legislation, as because in his committee and the other committees of jurisdiction,